Today's 1050 Data Camp shares lessons on learn. I'm learning. I hope this will support you moving your goals, allow you to become the person that you want to become. Today I speak about toxic environments. Toxic environments and how long do you spend in toxic environments? It could be social, it could be friends, it could be work. But when we're able to reduce the time spent in those toxic environments, we're able to improve our lives in a lot of different areas. Sometimes we say, okay, maybe we don't feel as good as we could. Maybe we lack confidence, self-esteem, everything. It could be that a lot of things could be influenced by our environment. And reducing our exposure to toxic environment could benefit a lot of different things in our lives. So they didn't really share the benefits. The benefits when you're able to really reduce the toxic environment and really say, okay, how are you able to reduce that time spent in that toxic environment, and really things will change, completely change when you start to really look at how do you spend your time. Because we live only once. And we need to be very, very careful where we spend our time, because when we spend our time in a toxic environment, with toxic friends, with toxic family members, with toxic co-workers, with toxic social groups, so toxic community, there's so many different things that we potentially could put ourselves in when we have a choice to reduce that time. Sometimes I understand, sometimes it's almost impossible to reduce. That means that we need to counter that by positivity, but at the same time we're able to work to make sure that we're able to reduce that. So number one is that easiest one, understanding that what is the benefit of reducing the toxicity is that improved mental and emotional being. That when you remove the toxicity of your life, of course, your mental state and emotional will improve. You will become much better, because the toxicity will cause anxiety, stress, all those negative emotions. So when you remove that, you're able to focus on better things, better emotions. And mentally, emotionally, of course, become stronger. And it brings stability. Because a lot of times we want the only thing that we want is inner peace. And when you take that toxicity out of your life, when you reduce that toxicity in your life, of course, you're able to really work to have the stability that you're looking for regarding emotional and mental state. Number two is better physical health. Better physical health. A lot of times when you're not emotionally well, when you're not mentally well, that will influence your physical health as well. Always know that anxiety, stress elevates your heart rate, elevates your cortisol levels. Cortisol levels makes your body don't want to remove any kind of fat, so you gain fat. Because of that, you don't have as much energy. You don't look well as good as you would otherwise. So that means that there is a massive influence of your toxicity onto your physical health as well. You have less energy. You don't like yourself as much. You don't go to gym as often. So it will be a massive impact on your health as well when you actually don't reduce that time. And when you reduce that time, of course, everything could be reversed and you build a new cycle. Exercise more, eat better, have less anxiety. Your hormonal makeups could be better in shape. Everything could be improved when you actually reduce that toxicity, and overall health will improve. Number three is enhanced relationships. Enhanced relationships. That means it might be that when you have toxic environment, you bring that toxicity to other environments, other relations as well. So it means if you're toxic, you become toxic, because a lot of times when you're surrounding ourselves with complainers, we have a tendency to really rub off complaining as well, because complaining is very contagious. So that means when you spend the toxic environment, where people are judging everyone, complaining all the time, all those things, and you spend a lot of time with those kind of people who does that, of course, will rub off to you. And when you learn those kind of behaviors, you transfer to relationships, other relationships. But when you reduce that time with those people, when you reduce that time for complaining, that will enhance your relationship you have right now, because you will keep yourself in the positivity, and you'll work very hard that you can really learn the good ways of relationship, not the bad ways of relationship. And of course, we need to really be very, very, very protective of our positivity to make sure that we transfer to our relationships. Number four is increased personal time and hobbies. That means that, of course, we spend 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours with toxic people, toxic environments. That means that we may reduce that from 4 to 2 hours. That means it's 2 hours. 2 hours you can do something else. And what you can do. And you're able to choose. Maybe interests, something that elevates your energy, maybe hobbies. What are those things? Maybe learning, maybe listening to a seminar, maybe reading a book. What are those things that elevate your energy? Because if you spend 2 hours in toxic environment, maybe you need your 2 hours to really to recover from that and maybe be able to go to nature. I don't know what it is, but it could be something that benefits you, benefits your energy, benefits your emotional and physical health, benefits your spiritual health. And you are able to invest more time into things that really create joy into your life, brings joy and fulfillment. So it means reducing time in toxic environment allows to be with yourself more, and that is very beneficial. Number 5 is improved self-esteem and confidence. And this is very interesting. A lot of times when we're in a toxic environment, that toxic environment really, sometimes it could even destroy our self-confidence, self-esteem, because when you are low in energy, because of that toxicity, because of that low energy, you start to believe that this is the way you are. This is not the way you are. You just influenced. Your energy was brought down because of that external things. Now, to accept that is very important, and it's our responsibility and our ownership to bring our energies up. That's totally right. But sometimes when you're able to reduce that negative impact of external things, we're able to bring our self-esteem up. We're able to bring our confidence up, because 100% that toxic environment is reducing confidence and self-esteem, because we don't feel like 100% of ourselves, and that of course slow us down, and that of course is bringing our self-esteem lower. And of course, when you reduce the time, we're able to rebuild self-esteem and self-image. And of course, that will positively impact our results and at the same time confidence. Number 6 is greater focus and productivity. Greater focus and productivity. That means that when you distance yourself from all the complaining, all the excuse makers, you're able to really be much better because you have more energy. So we're able to give your attention to something that really matters. So when what you put attention on, what you put focus on, of course, that means that you will give much more productivity on. Because I think that we don't have productivity when we focus on 10 things at the same time. But when you clear in your mind, when you have more confidence, you're able to focus on one thing at the same time, be much more productive, and that you get much better results. And it's easier to focus on personal goals when you don't think about really recovering from that toxicity. Because sometimes when people have two options, recover from toxicity that they spend, or working on their goals and be productive. And sometimes we spend hours after really dealing with that toxicity to recover ourselves, rather than spending that 1 hour on really making things happen. Number 7 is more positive social interactions. That means that a lot of times when we have toxic environments, we start to attach that toxicity, that we start to believe that a lot of people are like this. But that's not true. That's not true. There's just that group of people. That group of people, that's one person could be, that one person is this way. And that means that there is, when we walk away from that person, and you're able to start to see looking at other people, there are so much great people out there. So many great social interactions could be when you don't attach and you generalize people. So this is this person, this is this way, but other people are totally different. So we be able to go out, interact, and don't carry the baggage of that negativity that comes from that toxic relationship. It's very, very important, because when you're able to see that there is so much so much positivity, so of course those social interactions will increase overall satisfaction when you're actually bringing openness, and you don't think about all the toxicity that you came from other relationship. Number 8 is increased resilience and coping skills. Increased resilience and coping skills. Of course, if you spend all your coping skills, all your resilience on dealing with that negativity, with that toxicity, that means you don't have that enough willpower, because willpower is like a battery. When you use it, it's reduced. So it means you don't have as much energy and much willpower to do the different things that really actually matter. So when you really reduce your time with toxicity, you're able to use that resilience, use those coping skills, use that willpower to the things that really matter. So when somebody say, okay, why I don't have resilience? What are the reasons that I have resilience? Why I don't have coping skills? Why I don't have willpower? As a lot of times is that might be that you're spending too much time into negative environment because that brought you down. And when you reduce that time, you're able to bring your resilience up, bring willpower up, bring your coping skills up, and you're able to overcome much more and much faster. Number 9 is better decision making. Better decision making. That was a lot of times when you spend a lot of time in toxic environment, that could cloud your judgment. Maybe you don't see the future as clearly. Maybe you don't see yourself as clearly. You don't see your future clearly. You don't see yourself clearly. And of course, because of that, if you don't see future and yourself and current you clearly, of course that will cloud your decision-making process. So that means that when you're able to reduce toxicity, of course at that moment, of course you're able to say that I have a clarity of myself, I have clarity where I am, I have self-awareness, I know where I'm going. A decision-making process becomes much, much easier and much, much, much better. And of course, at that moment, you know that this decision aligned with my values, with my beliefs, and my purpose, my vision, and of course, I'm making great choices. Number 10, and the last one thing that I want to mention is that prevention of burnout. What is a burnout? Burnout is really taking action without any energy. When you don't have energy, but you're still taking action. And that's where a lot of times leads burnout. I think that it's impossible to have a burnout by doing the things that you enjoy. So that means that burnout happens when you do something that you actually do not enjoy for a long, sustained period of time. So that means that when you really spend a lot of time in toxic environment, that means that it drains your energy. Because your energy was drained, now you need to do the things that you potentially don't want to do, but you still need to do it without energy whatsoever. And at some point, of course, it will happen burnout. So when you reduce the time and in toxic environments, when you really allocate your time to yourself to build some energy, to do the things that you enjoy, that makes you fulfilled, content. That moment you build your energy package, and you're able to use that package of your energy on the things that you don't want to do, because there always will be something that you don't want to do. But because you had that energy and use that energy on the things that you don't want to do, it's still fine because you have energy. And it will never happen burnout. I always say that burnout happens for people who do things that they don't want to do without really doing the things that they actually enjoy. Or their energy used on something that drains that energy. So we need to be very careful doing the things that we don't want to do without having any energy, because that will lead to burnouts, and burnouts leads to a lot of health issues, and we don't want that. And of course, we want to make sure that we have a lifestyle that is enjoyable, sustainable, and at the same time we're able to keep doing that for a long, long time. So I hope that you will reflect as well. What are environments in your life that is toxic? How much time do you spend in toxic environments? Maybe friendships, communities, or whatever it is. What are the areas of your life that is toxic for you? How much time do you spend there? And the next question that you need to ask is how I could potentially reduce that time. How I could reduce the time. Because, of course, the goal is to reduce, to minimize as little as possible. Because we want to make sure that we spend the most of our time on something that really elevates your energy rather than drains that. So, I hope you choose to win, and see you tomorrow.